And another part of my Voltage Modular series, and this time I'm going to talk about a very special kind of sequencer. A sequencer of up to 16 steps, with each step having an adjustable probability of being played at all or being skipped. And if a step is played and not skipped, the machine gives out the adjusted pitch CV, or CV to be used on any other module, or a randomly chosen other pitch CV. And again, we can adjust the probability of each of these two possibilities. And what's more, we can even adjust the maximal deviation, the maximum deviation from the adjusted pitch CV. Sequencers like this are called stochastic or probabilistic. But the developer of the machine, Playertron, has even put quite a bit more into this stochastic note and CV sequencer. Let's dive into this monster of a sequencer now. Let me mention another thing right at the beginning. Once set up, we can store all adjustments in a pattern. Up to 20 patterns can be stored, and we can recall them, can modulate our way through them, can chain them, can jump from pattern to pattern in a regular order, in a certain one, or just randomly. To make it clear, a pattern is not a module preset. It can be played and changed and jumped to and from within the module during a running patch. A module preset contains all settings and all up to 20 of these patterns. To adjust a default and not the random CV at a certain step, we use the outer wheel here, the outer wheel of each step, and with the inner wheel, this one, these ones here, with the inner wheel we adjust the probability of this step, the probability of being activated at all or being skipped. And with the two knobs here down, labeled random bounds, we set the maximum random CV deviation from the default values, which is then used for all of the steps. And I'll show later in this video, I'll show you how to individualize this, how to set individual borders of the random CV deviation for each step here. Okay, but these random CV deviations, by the way, the deviations from the adjusted CV, pitch CV, or CV for anything else, this deviation happens only in one of 4 operating modes, and this mode is of course called random. Here we set it with this knob. I'll talk about this knob and about these modes a bit later in the video. Alright, let's rather talk at once about these 4 modes, 4 operating modes, which determine how the module acts, how the module reacts when it arrives at an inactive step, only at inactive steps. So with the upper mode, the carry mode, the gate closes when it arrives to an inactive step, but the actual CV is held until the module reaches the next active step. The advantage of this is that with long release phases, like here, I have adjusted a long one, this release phase doesn't experience the next active CV, pitch CV. Then we have the drop mode. In drop mode, the gate closes, of course, again, when it reaches an inactive step, but it drops, the module drops the output CV to 0 volt. This means that even with inactive steps, we generate a pitch with long release phases, the pitch corresponding to 0 volts, which is, I think, C2. Then we have the skip mode. Well, this mode does what its name suggests. It skips the inactive step completely. And then we have random, the fourth mode. I mentioned it before. And in random mode, everything goes random concerning everything concerning the pitch. Meaning we get completely random pitches. In the borders we have set with these knobs here down, of course. But we get these random pitches even on inactive steps. So we get 16 steps here in this actual setup, 16 steps of 16 random pitches. The main outputs are on the right side. It's clock, pitch, gate, and CV. CV belongs to the 16 dials below here, each of which belongs to the described corresponding CV and probability step wheels here, and can be adjusted to values from -5 volts to +5 volts. Always when a step is played, the adjusted CV is given out at this CV output, which then we can use to modulate anything we want. For example, the fractalization parameter of this partial oscillator, so let me do so. Yeah, and please see and notice that there is an attenuator knob which is valid for all 16 CVs together. All right. We can reverse the gate signal by pushing this upper blue button here. And there is even a legato knob here in this output section. The following functions can be CV modulated from outside the module: clock, sync or reset, record on off, inactive steps mode, see later, random pitch deviation range, pattern choice, and transpose. Let me answer the probably most important questions now.
It's great and wonderful that you like my work, my ebooks, my videos, my production. Alright then, come and earn some money together with me. Simply join my affiliate program. It's really easy, it's simple, it's without any obligations, and it might be even fun for you. Read the details on my website and start earning money, and not even a little only. Just click the link down in the description to learn more about it. I'm looking forward to meeting you there. Cheers and peace.
You may have noticed, or not, these little output jacks here at each step wheel. These jacks put out a gate when this step goes active, and when we patch this gate, for example, back to the sync reset input, the step before the one with the gate signal patched back is the last step that's performed before jumping back to step 1 by default to step 1. You see, step 5 is patched back, the gate of step 5 is patched back, and the 4 first steps are performed only. Okay, when I say step 1 is the default step to jump to, there must be another possibility, and there is. The sync reset jack here has a little knob attached, and with this knob we can determine to which step the module shall jump. Why not only between 3 and 4? We can even attach a step beyond the patch, the jump back border here. This new target step can be even beyond the step from which the module started its jump. But take care, if the step that forces the module to make its jump is inactive, then even its jump order is ignored, and so we should adjust the probability of this step to 100%. Therefore, if we want the jump to be performed all the time, always. But when we want this jump to be performed only from time to time, then we can adjust the probability of the jump generating step at any value that we like to. In more conventional situations, I use this functionality to simply shorten the sequence to less than 16 steps. It's the individual gate output of each step again which helps us. We simply use it to modulate the mix parameter of the effect module or any other parameter we want to. And you see here it's the 4th step and the 10th and step number 15, which open the mix parameter so that we have 3 steps with reverb and the rest without. Of course, only the reverb opens only when the step which is used to increase the mix parameter is an active one and is not skipped. Alright, we can use the individual gate outputs to clock one or more other stochastic note and CV sequences and get polyphonic setups, polyphonic patches this way, as we see here. So, step number 4 clocks the lower but make it a little bit smaller. So step number 4 clocks the lower sequencer, step number 8 does so, step number 12 and step number 16 as well. Alright, and now we can go and build up immense and immensely complex Playertron's stochastic note and CV sequencer networks. As I do in volume 2 of my book series about this. Recording a pattern is no big action at all. Just take care that the record function is armed, the red LED is lit. Everything you do and adjust will be automatically recorded then, and the last situation before choosing another pattern will be stored and recalled when you visit this pattern again. And when I write everything, then I mean everything. CVs, probabilities, inactive behavior, extra CVs, deviation limits, and so on. Traveling from pattern to pattern in a regular way is really easy. There's a jack labeled +1 here, the green cable leads to it here. And each trigger or gate which arrives here makes the module jump to the next pattern. An example here, patching a clock signal at a rate of 1/16th the rate of the sequencer in this +1 patch gives us 20 different patterns in a row, each of which having 16 steps here in this example. Which 16 steps these are depends on the probability settings of each of the steps in each pattern, of course. So I use the button module to reset both the timely, the clock module, and the sequencer, so that both start at point 1. And now let's listen to such a 20 pattern sequence for a while. By the way, here is the pattern, which is actually played at the moment. All right, and so on, and so on, and so on. Having reached pattern 20, pattern 19, it jumps back to the first pattern 0, or yes. Jumping and proceeding in an irregular way can be done using only the Stochastic Note CV sequencer itself, as well as using external CV, of course, random CV, of course. With only the module itself at hand, we can use the individual gate outputs of certain steps and adjust the corresponding probabilities to different values, which means that the result is that the module sometimes changes to the next pattern and sometimes not. But it always goes to the next pattern, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, and so on, and so on. Or we patch the pitch output of the module into the jack labeled pattern, labeled pad. Here's the pitch output going to the vintage oscillator, but also to the pattern input, the pattern choice, the pattern choose input. Then the module jumps at each step of each pattern to a pattern corresponding to the attached CV, to the attached pitch CV. Yes, nice. But take care. The next jump to another pattern is directed by the next step in this other pattern, in this pattern where the module has jumped to. So, planning complex CV proceedings all across the 20 patterns is possible, but needs careful planning. The easiest way is using a MIDI keyboard controller and patch Voltage Modular's pitch, gate and velocity, or one of the other jacks from the CV sources here, into the pitch in, the gate in, and the CV in, pitch in, gate in, CV in, from the Playertron sequencer, and additionally the gate into the clock input. This means that with every keystroke, the sequencer sets the step pitch, the pitch CV of this step according to the pushed key on the keyboard, and jumps then, because of the clock connection here, the clock connection, to the next step. And so please look at the values here, look at the pitch values now. And now watch the velocity settings here, or better say to the CV settings here. Now I hit the keys on the keyboard with different strength, different velocities. Now we are here, the next hit reaches this knob here, and the next You got it. And when we patch the, for example, mod wheel jack from the CV sources into the probability, the prop jack of the module, then we can even program, adjust, meaning adjust the probability of each step. Before I continue, please have a look at this. It's my new online course, Production Secrets of Generative Music with Modular Synths, and it's useful not only for making generative music. You can get it from my website. The link is down in the description. Thank you for visiting it. This needs a little bit of external patching. I take as many DC offsets here down as I need different individual deviation limits and patch them through VCAs to the random bounce input jack. And then I take the gate outputs of the corresponding steps to open the amplifier and let the DC through to the random bounce input jack. And you see how the knobs change their positions according to the adjusted DC offsets here. All right, end of this video. Be prepared for more videos about the modules of Cherry Audio's Voltage Modular. Subscribe and turn the bell on so you won't miss anything on this channel, and don't forget to visit my website from time to time. There's always something new to discover there, and you can grab some real bargains as well at my site. Thanks for watching. Cheers and peace.